Alexius Studites, Patriarch of Constantinople, was a member of the Monastery of Stoudios, succeeded Eustathius as Patriarch in 1025, the last of the Patriarchs appointed by the Emperor Basil II. Patriarchate. Alexius set out to reform the church institution of the Charistite. The institution of the Charistite Doria, which recent research dates to the period just after the triumph of orthodoxy. Effectively, it involved the donation of monasteries to private individuals unrelated to the establishment's founders, for a limited period of time, ostensibly undertaken so that the monastery buildings could be repaired or conserved and the estate out to good use, while at the same time protecting and preserving its spiritual functions. In actuality, it was widely abused by the landed gentry and so became a source of abused patronage by high church officials and a tool against the powerful monastic establishment. Alexius tried to temper the worst abuse of the notorious Charistite by appointing through synodal legislation the Patriarch's chancellor, the Chartophylax, as the official to serve as the final point of approval for all grants under the system. Alexius also restricted the granting of Charistite to non-diocesan monasteries. The fact that Alexius sought reform over abolishment of the Charistite Doria likely shows the inability of the Church to claim back many of these properties from the powerful land-owning elite who held them. He promoted the zealous actions of John of Melitene, whose interest it was to limit the influence of the Syro-Jacobite Church in the southeast of the Byzantine Empire, especially in the newly conquered themes of Mesopotamia and Telauch. For this reason the Syro-Jacobite Patriarch John VIII Bar Abdon was arrested and brought to trial in Constantinople and then forced into a monastery on Mount Garnos. In 1034 he crowned Michael IV the Paphlagonian, the favourite of Byzantine Empress Zoe, who, to make way for him, procured the death of her husband, the Emperor Romanos III Argyrus. He thwarted the attempts of John the Orphanatrophos to gain the patriarchal see in 1036, and died in 1043. Typicon. Alexius Studites also established a monastery for which he wrote the rule which was then used as the rule for the Kiev Monastery of the Caves. Decrees of his are still extant. He is noted for the elevated style employed in the numerous decrees of his which have survived. Synod Decrees. The Synod Decrees are unusual for the number and the fact they are dated precisely. 1027, 1027, 1027, 1030, 1028, 1030, 1038, 1034, 1037, 1038, 1038, 1039, 1030 to 1040 undated. Bibliography. F. Lauritsen, Against the Enemies of Tradition, Alexios Studites and the Synodicon of Orthodoxy in A. Rigo and P. Ermilov, Orthodoxy and Heresy in Byzantium, Roma 2010. J. Thomas and A. Constantinides, eds. Byzantine Monastic Foundation Documents. Washington, D.C., Dumbarton Oaks, 1998. A. Pentkovsky, Typicon Patriarchs Alexius Studiita v Byzantine Russi, Moscow 2001.